right, welcome back everyone. We're here in this video with Alice Chishom from Avon. Alice, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I can. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello. Welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining this call with us. I am one of 9 children, 5 brothers and 3 sisters. We all live locally in Oregon. And I taught middle school for 32 years. I taught 7th grade health. I love what we called our SEVIs. They're so excited about learning, and it can be a tough age to work with, but it's also a whole lot of fun. And my aunt sold Avon for 30 years, and then she retired when she was 80. Go figure. And I went 3 years without an Avon book, and I went through withdrawal. Who knew you could go through withdrawal from an Avon book? But I equate the Avon book kind of like the old JCPenney's Christmas catalog that came out. It had beautiful pages. I spent hours as a kid looking at every item in that book and dreaming. My Avon book is no different right now. Every 2 weeks, I am like a little kid. I'm excited when I get that new book in my hands, and I hold it. Anyway, I finally told my husband, I've gone 3 years without an Avon book. I am going to sign up just so I can get the Avon book. And then I had a surprise. You can make money with Avon. Honestly, I was naive about this. I had no idea how much you could earn with Avon. And so what initially started as I just wanted a book and to buy my own lipstick and a few jewelry products, I ended up building a business. And I retired 2 years. I retired from teaching 2 years after I started selling Avon for 2 reasons. One, I had taught for 32 years. I was ready to leave the middle school classroom. And secondly, because my Avon business was large enough at that point, I could not teach full-time and have all those responsibilities along with raising a family and doing Avon. My Avon business grew too big. So I retired from teaching and started selling Avon, and I absolutely love it. So let me share a few things that I have learned. And by the way, if you're watching this video and you are a network marketer, it does not matter if you are selling Avon or another product. Many of my ideas that I'm going to share with you today are about building a business. How do you find customers? How do you grow your team? And how do you sell your product? And it doesn't matter if that's Avon or another product. These ideas will work for you. You'll notice that I will say Avon because I talk Avon all the time and it kind of just comes out. So although I'm talking about Avon, this video is for any of you that are in network marketing. One of the most important things to do is that you need to get your face out there associated with your product. The best way to do that is to wear an Avon name tag. This is my name tag. I have several. Finally, this year, there we go. Finally, this year, I invested in some good name tags. No more of those sticky ones. But you know what? You buy things, you reinvest in your business as you can afford to do so. For a long time, I just wore the Avon buttons. And, you know, those were not expensive. And in fact, sometimes I got those for free. I make these buttons available every time I go out with my team members because I want them to be visible. And I have quite a few of them. I buy them when I go to some of the National Avon Conference. I buy extras so I can give them to my team members when they go out with me. But I wanted a more professional one, and I figure after 5 years of selling Avon, I can do that. So I went in, designed some different colors, fun, very simple, but they say Avon. Now you wear those not just when you're doing Avon, you wear them all the time because of course you're doing Avon all the time. But people, even though I might not be thinking Avon at the time, if I'm wearing this name tag and I'm at the store and someone is interested in an Avon book, someone's interested in a job, someone's interested in whatever, and they see Avon, they are more likely to approach me. So make sure you are branding yourself with whatever it is that you're selling. Second thing, wear your product. Now I have to tell you a story. First of all, I love Avon. And I also love this one particular lotion that a store in the mall sells. And so my sister gave me some for Christmas, and I was wearing it, and someone commented on how lovely it smelled. And I hated to tell them it wasn't Avon, because I just sold a product for that other store. So that was a good lesson to me. Wear your product. Avon has so many wonderful scents. I don't need to wear that other one. I need to wear Avon, so when someone asks me about it, I can sell my Avon to them. I love bling. This is Avon, my ring. I don't know if you can see it. My ring is Avon. Am I going forward or?
It's a little close. You're good. There you go. It's really
This
cute.
is the Swarovski bracelet.
Yeah.
This is their watch. Okay.
And that's a great example of wearing your company's products to promote them or using them or.
Absolutely. And I love bling, and nobody loves bling more than I do. But the thing with Avon is you can afford to wear new bling all the time because you're going to get your discount for it. Now, I have to tell you, I was wearing a watch like this that was purple, sold it off my wrist. The person was leaving for vacation the next day. She had a purple outfit, and she wanted the watch. I didn't have another one in stock. She literally bought it off my wrist. I have sold this Swarovski bracelet twice off my wrist. Now, the only reason I sold it off my wrist was because I had bought 3 of them when they came out, thinking I could sell them, and I knew I had another one at home. I wasn't going to take a chance on this particular bracelet of not being available when I went back to order, but I sold 2 of them off my wrist. People comment absolutely every time I'm out on my jewelry. Every day. I don't even have to bring Avon up. Someone says, I love that ring. Hey, that's a cool watch. I love that necklace. That is such a natural transition to talking about Avon. And then I hand them an Avon book and we go from there. Okay, I always tell them that can be yours too. And believe me, they are surprised with the prices because the prices are good. Okay, business cards. I have to tell you, when I first started selling Avon, somebody said, oh, you need business cards. So I bought 500 of them. And they sat in the box until they got outdated because I didn't know what to do with them. So have a plan for your business cards. First of all, always have some with you when you are out and about. There are bulletin boards. You can hand someone an Avon book and you can hand someone a business card, but what are they most likely to keep if their hands are full or they're busy? They will keep your business card. Have your web e-store on it. They can contact you. They can just go online and order. And by the way, I just had new business cards made, and then I wrote a blog on business cards, and I'm going to make new ones again because now I want to get my picture on my business card. I always thought it was a little elitist to have your picture on a business card, but you know what? Believe it or not, those are the cards that people keep. They don't throw away a card with a picture on it. So get your picture on it. And again, you're marketing yourself. You're getting your face associated with your product. And I want people to see my face and think Avon. Okay. The other thing, and I'll talk about this since I'm here, is gift certificates. A number of times every year, I am asked, would you donate a basket for this raffle or this drawing or this, fundraiser event? And of course we want to do that. They're great events and we want to get our name out there. But I've learned something over the last 5 years about giving baskets. I used to put this beautiful $50 basket together. Who wouldn't want it? It had great product. It was really pretty. It was decorated nicely, but I didn't gain any customers because of that. They already got their $50 of products. So I have decided I had to think, what am I going to do differently? Because if I donate a basket, yes, it's nice for the organization, and that's a good thing to do. We should be helping other organizations, but I need to benefit from it. So how was I going to benefit? So this is what I did, and I'll tell you what, it was the smartest thing that I did. Now I put together a little basket. Doesn't have to be a big one. I put together a little basket, and in that basket, I give a gift certificate. My gift certificate looks like my business cards, by the way. I did those so that they kind of match nicely, okay? But my gift certificate will say $10 of free Avon. And by the way, I put a deadline on it. And the deadline is when the book that I put into the basket is going to be over. So it's good for 6 weeks. And I put $10 on it. And then inside the basket, I will put 1 or 2 items of Avon that I either got for free or that I bought thinking I would sell them, and they just weren't a good seller. So they're sitting in my stock, and I'm not making any money on them anyway. So I put those in a basket. Now, whoever gets that basket is excited. They raffled it, okay? But even more importantly, I have yet to have someone only order $10 of Avon. When I did a gift certificate for $35 or for $50, that's what they ordered. And now when I do a $10 gift certificate, they call me and they order more Avon, because nobody only spends $10 with Avon. I love it. So that is my advice when you're doing gift baskets and stuff, is please help your business also. And you help yourself when customers are going to buy from you. And of course, that also says, reminds me of with labeling on your books, you want to make sure that your labels have all the information they need so that they can order either from you directly or from your online store. They need a phone number. Now, there's a lot of people when you first start that maybe you want to handwrite your information. My handwriting is very neat, but I never wrote my handwriting on my books. Because first of all, when I first started, I was ordering hundreds of books at a time. I didn't have that kind of time to sit and write the books, because believe me, no matter how neat my handwriting is, by the time you label 500 books, it's not neat anymore. But I'm also a little picky on how things look. So I started typing my labels right off the bat. And now I do labels that I'm really quite proud of, and they look good. And in addition to writing the information, and I'm realizing here I don't have one book that's current. Let me just pull one out for you real quick.
I love your displays, the jewelry displays behind your chair.
I'm going to talk about those in a little bit.
Okay.
Again, you do what you can afford as you can afford it. But here's the label in my book, and I just want to show you. I have this little thing here that, of course, you can click on. Okay. Anyone that clicks on that, of course, goes right to my e-store. That's where I want them. Yes, I have lots of customers that call me and want me to deliver their orders, or they call me for information. And you always want to be welcoming for that. But most importantly, I want them to order online, and then I want the Avon to deliver them their order, and I just want to get the earnings. It's a whole lot less work. But make it nice and neat. Have all your information on the label. Now, in addition to that, the other thing that I do, when I first started selling Avon, and I didn't have a lot of guidance, so I've never done any direct selling, so this was all new to me, and I did make some mistakes with it. Well, maybe they weren't mistakes, but they were costly errors, okay? Because I just didn't know better. One of the things I did was, when a book was outdated, every 6 weeks, I realized, oh my gosh, even though I might have a couple hundred books sitting there that for some reason didn't get out, I was taking them down to the recycling center. It was too many to put into my recycling bin at home. And I hated putting those books into the recycling container. They were brand new books. I had paid for them. In addition to that, I'd paid for the labels that I printed on the back of the book. That's expensive. Printer ink is expensive. And then as I got into this more, and I listened to some people that had been selling for a while, the suggestion was made, don't ever toss a book. Don't ever recycle a book. Use those. And at first it was like, what? You're giving an old book. Now it's like, oh, who cares if it's 2 years old? If you haven't got it out, pass it out. Here's the thing. You are in your network marketing business to make money. You paid for those books. So let those books bring you some income. I put a label on the front of my books that says It's a sample brochure. I put that on my old books. So all my books get their labels to begin with. And then if I have a stack of books that didn't make it out, I put this label on it. I like using the bright colored labels. Now, you also, before I could justify spending money on the bright colored labels, I just did a white label and I highlighted it. You know what? Either of those work. Put it on at a little bit of a angle because that draws our eye to it, okay? And then I put it in these bags. And I also put a little note in it. Sometimes it's a recruiting note. And I hang these from their doorknob. Now, let me just say, there is a lot of information out there about tossing books. And there are a lot of people that toss books like they do newspapers. They drive by and they throw them into the driveway. Now, if that's your thing, then you go for it. Here's my view on that. My first impression with them and their first impression with Avon is this Avon book. Do they want to pick it up from the ground? Do they want to pick it up if it's wet because it's been raining? I live in Oregon. Do they want to pick it up when the tires have been driven over it? Or do they want to have a nice thought as they're walking to their door and they see the brochure hanging there? I want them to have a positive first impression with Avon. So when I say I toss books, there's really no tossing for me. I put the books on the doorknobs. Now, there are questions as to, should you use new books for the doorknobs? Should you use old books for the doorknobs? The jury's out. Either one are good. I heard Teresa Paul yesterday say this, and I thought it was interesting because I hadn't thought of it before. She said, only use your new books when you are tossing and leave your old books for like the salon. Because when someone walks into the salon, even if they have a current Avon lady, if they don't have that latest book, they'll take it. They'll take your book and still order from the other person. Now, you know what? There's some truth to that because I have had customers that have called me and said, oh, I picked up this book when I was somewhere and it's not yours, but I noticed that they have this. And so there is some of that goes on. For me, that's how I deliver my old books is I still put them on doors because I don't stop and talk to everybody. I don't knock on the doors. It's just not something I have time to do. Now, I will say with team members, and I'm going to talk in a little bit about how I work with team members, but one of the things that I will do with team members is when they first start Avon, I will go out with them if they're local. We'll find an apartment complex or a 2-block neighborhood, and I spend an hour with them. The first 15 or 20 minutes is me doing all the talking. I am showing them, I'm not coaching yet. I'm just having them become comfortable and doing some observations. And then I coach them. So then we start with every other door. They do one and I do one, but I'm still there with them. So when they get tongue-tied or when they aren't sure how to answer a question, then I can just jump in. It's very natural. But by the time we're done, after a half hour of doing that, they're pretty comfortable with, I'll take this side, you take that side of the street, and let's just keep going.
You know what's fun, Alice?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I have heard several times of people that have the reps across the country and they Skype or they have their upline on the phone.
That is a wonderful idea.
Yeah, so it's like it's the same concept, but you're with them and you're helping them. So I don't know why your explanation made me think of that alternative. I
appreciate that you threw that in because now for those of you that are watching this is the first time I have ever done a video chat. And so, I'm all about learning new things, but believe me, there's a learning curve there. But I love the idea because I do have team members that are in other states, and obviously I can't go with them door to door, but I am more than comfortable taking my phone and Skyping with them. So that I think you will see a video at some point in the future with me doing that because I'm willing to try that. I think that's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, let me just, what do I do for my team members? All right, team trainings. Now, last year, I had a total knee replacement last spring, and it kind of put me out of commission for a little bit. I still ran my business. I never yet in my 5 years have missed putting an order in and putting a good order in for every 2 weeks. But I got out of commission of having my meetings here. But this is my office behind me. We have an office in my home. It's right through the front door. So it's easy for people to come to and get to. My house is all wheelchair accessible if need be. And all my behind me, the cupboards behind me is where all my Avon storage is. So it's all here in this room. I unpacked my orders on the table. My husband built me the table. We didn't just go buy all of this. The first year, I had Avon everywhere in the house. The second year, I had Avon in every room of the house. And the third year, we decided we needed to do something more about that. Now, you'd think with having a whole office of room that I wouldn't have Avon all over the house still, but I do. It's there. But anyway, it's just more organized now, maybe. So I do a couple of things. I will have team members that are local and can attend come here for meetings. And I usually hold those once a month. And I used to be really strict about having a topic because I wanted to make sure I was prepared. And what I realize is, you know, I'm comfortable enough with Avon and selling Avon and building a team that I don't need to know the topic ahead of time. Now, if I'm doing a presentation, that's different because you want to be professional and no one wants to listen to you when you're not prepared. But, you know, I do have a teaching background. I taught for 32 years, so I'm pretty good at taking a topic and talking about it. But I still prepare myself. And that's just respectful for those of you that are even watching this video. I'm not just talking off the cuff, believe it or not. I actually have a list of things that I want to talk about because I want you to realize that I won't waste your time, but I can make some good ideas for you if you invest the time. So for my team members, we'll have meetings here. I still remember one meeting where I talked about the makeup remover, which is really good. And I pulled it out. And at first I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted to talk about. And I had like maybe 6 people around the table and not one of them knew how to correctly use the makeup remover. And I thought that was kind of a given. So from then on, every time I have a meeting, I highlight 1 or 2 very specific Avon products. Often it's what's going to be coming out in the next book so that they can pre-sell it or sell it and know what they're talking about. The more you use Avon products, the more you learn about the product. That's one of the reasons, of course, that I wear their jewelry, but I also use their deodorant, their makeup, their shower gel, a new cleansing moisturizer line, which is absolutely dynamite, okay? And I can talk about those products, not just because I know about them, but I can talk passionately about them because I really love them. And that sells Avon. Or your product, whatever it is. It's being passionate about your product. I am so proud of Avon as a company and some of the help that they provide, both for breast cancer research and for victims of domestic violence, and they help with disaster relief around the world. I like those. Those are near and dear to my heart for lots of reasons. I love the Avon reps that are selling Avon. I'll tell you, social media has been such a delight for me to get to know them. This is how I met Elizabeth. And I know, I'm so excited. And when I started Avon, who knew? I wasn't even doing Facebook then, or if I did, maybe I was just looking at a post once in a while. Things have really changed for me, and all for the better. And okay, so what else do I do with my team? First of all, if I listen to a conference call that someone has done and I think it's really excellent, I send that link to my team and I tell them why I think I want them to listen to it. I don't know if they do or not, but it's just one suggestion for them that maybe they didn't know about. I send a newsletter. Every campaign I do a newsletter. It's a one-page newsletter. I talk about what were our team sales in that particular campaign. I acknowledge new team members and welcome them. I say whose birthdays are coming up and their Avon anniversaries. And of course, Avon provides all of that for me. All I have to do is look the report up. It's just right there. It's very easy to find. But you need to take that information and show your team members that you care enough that you've looked at it. And I got to tell you, they know if you left their name off. You don't even know they're reading it until you leave one of their names off by accident, and then you will be informed that they were looking for their name. I do a list of anyone that sells $150 or more for that campaign. I want to recognize them for that. I also recognize them if they've had online orders. Interestingly, I have about 80 people on my team, and I only have 5 or 6 people every campaign that get online orders. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Some of us are just old hat, and it's harder to teach us some new skills. But I think if they recognize how nice it is to get those online orders, they might be trying to do more to get them. I always do a little bit of a training, something that I have done recently to give them some ideas, about tossing books or whatever. I'm always encouraging my team members to order more books. Here's the thing. If you buy 10 books, it's going to cost you about $6.50. If you buy 100 books, it will cost you $22.49. Okay, you're looking at and you're saying, but I don't have any money. I can't invest $22.50 in books. But here's how it works out, and you have to look at the bigger picture. You get 100 books for $22.50. The average order is $25. You get one person out of those 100 books that you have got out into the hands of people, one person whose order bought your books. You get 2 orders, you're making money. If you do that every campaign, you will make money with Avon, and you will have more than enough money to invest in your books. You have to reinvest in your business. Now, you may not want to buy products to reinvest in. When I first started, the only thing I knew that people did if they sold stuff was to have parties. So I thought, oh, okay, I have to buy all this product and then I'll have parties. Do you know I have never had a party for Avon? It's not my thing. Doesn't mean I can't, and it doesn't mean that I won't ever, but I just haven't done it. I have found other ways to sell Avon. And so you don't need to invest in a lot of product. Now, I did invest early on in some product because I thought I was going to have parties, and then I had to figure out how I was going to sell it. But before I talk about how other ways of selling, I want to get back to what do I do for my team. For both my team members and for my customers, we need to make sure we are in contact with them. We can't bug them. We can't nag them. They can choose whether or not they want to have contact with us. But we need to be available to them. Whether it's a team member or a customer that's calling you, if they leave you a message, you need to get back to them. I pride myself that within 1 hour, I have called them back, if I can. Sometimes circumstances are such that you're not able to do that. But I try really hard within an hour to do it, and certainly never longer than 24 hours. I don't care if I'm at the beach or if I'm on vacation, whatever's going on, you return that call within 24 hours. Because here's the thing. If I call my doctor's office and leave a message, if I call my insurance agent and leave a message, what am I doing between then and when they call me back? I'm waiting for them to call me back. And I'm annoyed if I don't hear back from them soon. Well, Avon is no different. They are waiting to hear back from you, whether it's because they want to place their order or because they have a question. You need to be responsive to that. The only way you will keep customers and you will keep your team is by working with them and being available to them. Now, with that said, I will also say they can choose not to talk with you. I have a couple of team members, and I don't know why they do this, but they have unsubscribed from my email. Okay. They just don't get, the only emails I send out are with my newsletter attached. I really don't contact team members very much, except for training stuff. I don't know why they don't want it. I'm a nice person, but you know what? They've chosen not to communicate with me, and that's okay. They're still on my team. I'm still making money from them. I still reach out to them once in a while. I can still pick up the phone and call them. But, you know, let people run their own business how they want to run it, but be there for when they need you. Okay? Let's see.
You know what I like, Alice, is you also have your blog, Press On with Alice. And so then that's something that, I mean, some of the posts are for, you know, a customer and a rep could read, or some are like more geared towards reps. But I mean, you've got support there, and that's right there on Facebook. I mean, it's on your blog, it's on Facebook, it's all over the place. So you've got all kinds of things like that.
And thank you for mentioning that. So let me talk about my blog a little bit, because, you know, I think I was like in my 30s when I first started using a computer. Okay, so this stuff doesn't come naturally for me. It's hard for me. Even this Zoom thing with Elizabeth this morning was like, what do I need to do? Because my computer didn't have a camera on it, so we had to get the laptop up and use it. And, you know, but we figured it out, and that's how I learned stuff too. Just under a year ago, I decided that, okay, if the wave of the future is social media, I need to be more engaged in social media. So how am I going to do that? Because, you know, I only sent my first text message like 2 years ago. I'm not very computer savvy. I'd never even read a blog, and I decided I was going to do one. I don't know where that buzz came from, but okay, so here's the thing. I just told myself in the next year, you are going to do a blog. And you're going to know more about it a year from now than you did then. And if you decide not to continue it, that's okay. You gave it a try. But maybe, just maybe, you're going to learn enough that you're really going to like it. Well, here's what I've learned about the blog. A couple of things. First of all, I love it. And as Elizabeth said, now I have several categories in my blog. I've had to expand a little bit because you want lots of people drawn to your blog, not just those that want to buy an Avon product. Because my tips in my blog, yes, they're for Avon products. They are about selling. Doesn't matter if you're selling Avon or for another company. My tips about selling are about selling, and they'll work. Most of them will work for any of you. They're about leadership. Well, if you are working as a leader of whether it's a big team or a little team, or even just maybe a department at work, you can glean some leadership ideas from the things I have to say. I talk about inspiration and a little bit about me, and just kind of throw in lots of stuff. I also do some makeup tips, and I'm not a makeup expert, but I can do my research and put some information on. And, you know, I do makeup, so that makes me an expert in some way. So, you know, you get, for any of you 57-year-old women out there that want to look, you know, maybe like you're 56, you know, check out my blog, and it is Press On, Presson, pressonwithalice.com. And I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Now, I will say there's a learning curve with everything you do, and there has been with my blog as well. I blogged for about 3 months, and then I realized, you know what, I like this well enough, I'm going to stick with it. So then I hired someone to go in and actually do some of the coding and stuff, because that is not something I'm going to learn to do. I have my limits as to what I'm learning, and that isn't it. So then I've hired someone to do that. Now, in last month, I hired this same person that's done my coding to do more marketing of my blog for me. Now, when I first started writing my blogs, you know, they have this little thing over on the side that's like a stoplight, green, yellow, and red. I didn't know what that meant, so I ignored it. Here I am 10 months into my blog, realizing that, okay, if I don't have that green button on that stoplight, I am not getting pinged by the, what do we call those? The, you know, Google and, and Yahoo and all those sites. I want to be listed on theirs, and the more green lights I have, the more their little robots that are out there are going to find me, and when people are doing searches, they're going to find my blog. So I'm in the process now of going back and updating so that I do better blogs than I had the first time. It's not bad that I sent out those blogs. Last month, I had just under 12,000 visitors to my blog. I am so excited about that. Now, I was told, and I don't even, I think I read it, probably Blogging for Dummies or something, and I'm sure it's true. But they said that when you get about 15,000 visitors to your blog every month, you will start to see people sign up to be on your team, and you will start to see people buying items because of your blog. Now, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden at 15,000, that's a magic number and I'm a better blogger then. What it means is that we've taken a bigger cross-section of people that are coming to my website now to look at my blog, and hopefully I'm going to be seeing some success with that. Now, ultimately, that's why I'm doing the blog. Yes, I really like it, but I want to grow my business, and I want to grow it with social media, so that's why I'm doing the blog. Okay?
500 people a day to get to the 15,000, just about.
It's amazing.
That's a lot. That's amazing. That's
awesome.
A
lot of people that are reading my blog every day. So I need, you know, I have a responsibility to them to make sure it's a nice blog and that it's something there that they want to learn. Okay, I want to talk about scheduling your time. I was sure when I built this home office, I was going to be the most organized Avon lady ever. And I will tell you, I'm a very, by nature, organized person, almost to the point of being a little anal. But I really am organized. When I was teaching, people would always walk in the room and say, how does your desk look so clean? I can't work in clutter, or I don't work as well in clutter. It's just the way my mind works. But I often feel pretty disorganized with my Avon. And that's not a bad thing. But here's what I have found. You need to schedule what you're going to do, because it means you're going to get it done. And if you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen. So what kinds of things need to be scheduled? Well, everything from, and I'm just going to grab my calendar, okay? It can feel overwhelming with all the little tasks that you need to keep reminding yourself to do. But it doesn't need to be overwhelming. You can embrace it and have fun with it, but schedule your time. So for example, I need to make sure that I schedule time for my blog. And right now, I post every day. And I have every day since I started, other than maybe one or two here and there if something came up. I don't know if I need to post every day or not, but that's been my pattern. And even if I go to every other day, I still have to schedule to write the blog because it takes a while to do a good blog. Secondly, I have to plan my Instagram post, my Facebook post, my Google Plus post, okay, all of that takes time. I love doing PizApp. That's where you can get on and make a little chart kind of products and put some words in about it. So rather than getting overwhelmed that I want to do all of that and getting to the end of the month and realizing that I haven't done it, I put it on my calendar. I will put that I need to do my tax information. Last year, it kind of got away from me with my surgery, and then we were selling a home in Massachusetts, and it just got away from me, and I never put any of it together until December. And of course, that's not a good month because you're so busy. So I spent all day just putting all my tax items together per each campaign. I am good, thankfully, about keeping track of my mileage and all my expenses, but I had to put it all together because I just dumped them in a box. Then I spent a full day in January having to sort each campaign out and put it into the categories. Now, believe me, that was overwhelming, and I put that off for so long because I knew it was overwhelming, and it was my own fault. But what I'm doing this year, so that I don't get myself in that boat, is at the end of I just choose a day for each month. It doesn't matter if it's the beginning, the middle, or the end. Choose your day. And you know what? It only takes me an hour, not even that really, to pull together 2 campaigns worth of stuff. because I've got it all there, and then I put it all together, I clip it, and I do my little chart that's categorized it. The other thing that does is it makes it more recent for me to remember, and I'm not as likely to forget something. Or what did I buy as a demo, as opposed to what did I, whatever it is. So I just scheduled it, and now it's happening. It's such an easy thing, and I don't know why I didn't do it before. So what else do you schedule? All right? I schedule when I'm going to write my team newsletter. I wait till we put our orders in for RPS 7 in Thursdays. I wait till the following Wednesday when the national date's over, and then I send it out either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Those are my 3 days I get to work with, and I just choose which one of those days I'm available. That's when my newsletter goes out. I even put on my calendar things like when if my order goes in on Thursday, Friday morning is when the next campaign really starts. I put on my calendar, go into your web office and change the brochure, because otherwise I forget it. It's a simple little thing, but if you don't put it on your calendar, it's easy to get overwhelmed and forget it. And then you want your website up to date and looking as professional as possible. So whether it's contacting a team member that's at risk, contacting your new leads, contacting your pending leads, contacting whatever it is, calling people, scheduling for Instagram, anything that you need to do, put it on your calendar. And by the way, I don't have time every day to sit down and think of what I want to do for my blog post or for my putting on Facebook or Instagram. So at least for me, it's once a week. It could be every 2 weeks, whatever it is. I give myself an hour and I sit down and I look up quotes and I look up cute little pictures or whatever it is I want, and I save them either to my phone or to the computer, because then it takes me maybe 2 minutes to make the post because I'm not taking the time to look it up. And I love that I do that, and I get more regular posts because I've taken the time to do that. And it's fun to do. It's just that by the time you remember you need to make a Facebook post, you may be having dinner started, you may be, whatever. You don't have time to run and do it. But now I know I have a folder just with quotes for Facebook. I know which ones I've used already, and I just go in and I pull one out. And I have fun looking. I have Sunday quotes. I have Monday quotes. I don't use them every Sunday and Monday, but I got them there for when I want to use them. I have some holiday quotes. Anyway, schedule your time to do it, because then you end up having more fun while you're doing the things that you should do, and you're growing your business while you're doing it too. And don't forget to schedule that you've got kids' activities. Put them on there. Now, I have a calendar that I keep my schedule on. I also do, because I just love these fun little charts. This is for the week. It's in addition to my calendar. The calendar is stuff that I absolutely need to do. It's appointments, it's activities, okay? This is stuff that I want to get done. Does it always get done? No, but you can bet it's sure it's not going to get done if it's not on there, because I'm not going to remember it. So that's really important. Okay. Assisted living centers. Let me chat with those for a minute. Now, I have been selling at assisted living centers for a couple of years, and oh my gosh, I just love it. I have become friends with some of the people that are there. You do need to be consistent with showing up, because I got to tell you, they are waiting for you. They may not let you know it if you're there, but if you're not there, they will let you know it. They will call you personally and ask you, where are you? It happens to me sometimes when I'm 5 minutes late showing up. They're calling me, asking me. If you have never sold at an assisted living center, start with talking to them. Pick up the phone and call the activities coordinator. Now, there are assisted living centers around here that will not let me sell there. They say I'm in competition with their beauty salon. Oh, please. What are they selling in their salon? I've been in them, not much. But all right, you know what? For whatever the reason is, whether it's the person that's the manager there or other reasons. Okay, fine. But you know what I've done? I still go in, pretend I'm going to visit someone, and leave a few books around. Now, I got to tell you, the one here, it's kind of an elitist group home. I mean, the people there are wealthy. They won't let me sell there. But I have 4 customers there, and they buy from me all the time. And every time I go and deliver their orders, I leave more books. Now, if a manager comes by and finds my book, she's going to toss it. But you know what? She's not the only person that's going to see that book. And maybe another person is. And they talk to each other. That's how I ended up with from 1 customer to 4 customers. But for the places that will let you sell to them, it's wonderful. Buy some product, take it and sell it. And take books, because they will order from you. They may not have the money right then. They may have trouble standing and not want to stand there and look at your products. They may want to. In fact, I have a customer walks by my book. Now, I like to have my booth right outside the cafe, and I sell from 11 to 2. Lunch is at 12:30. So they can come and visit with me before. Sometimes there's someone singing or some kind of entertainment in there, so they'll come down early. I am set up by 11. There are people that are waiting there at 10:30 for me. And they try to buy while I'm setting up. Okay, God forbid I have to stop and sell a lipstick in between when I'm setting them up. That's okay. You know what? They come to get their individual time. They visit with me. They wait in line to visit. I love that. Who else waits in line for us? We're always waiting in line for other people. So I sit there. Everybody that goes to lunch has to walk in front of me. And they're thinking, because I'm reminding them, hey, even if it's not for yourself, do you have a birthday coming up? Do you have a sister or brother or a grandchild that you need to buy for? You can make sales. I have one person that picks up the Avon book, and I give her a felt pen. She's had a stroke. She speaks fine, but she gets numbers confused, like 57. If I said 57, she'll say, oh yeah, 57. But otherwise she has to tell me it's on page 57. It just doesn't make that connection. So she's a little embarrassed by it. Okay, I give her a book and I give her a felt pen. She goes in. During lunch, she looks through every page of that book. She circles what she wants and she brings it back to me. Now, how hard was that order? Pretty easy. I have people that will call me and give me their orders all the time. I have family members that come to visit their parents and see the Avon book, and they call me and order. Or they say what they want, and the mom will call me and say, oh, my daughter saw the book and she really wanted this, so I want you to order it for me. Now, the other thing I do, and this is just a nice gesture, I'm kind of a person that says, leave things better than they were when you found them. I really believe that. It's not hard to do. If I'm delivering books or taking books up to somebody's door and their newspapers in the driveway, I take the newspaper up and I set it on the doorstep and I put the Avon book on top. I want them to know I did it. I want some credit for it, but it's just a nice gesture. So for my older people that sell Avon, and I've really done it not just at assisted living centers, but I've also done this for some elderly that can't get out of the house very often. If they're buying a gift, I go to the dollar store and I pick up a bag and some tissue and even a card. You know, cards aren't expensive and neither are those. You know, so I spent maybe $1.50 on the whole thing and I take it to them. Now, I could charge them for that and they'd still be happy to pay for it because at least they got to wrap it. But I don't. It's just one extra thing I do for some of my customers. And that reminds me, when I first started selling, I was hearing people at some of the meetings say, you need to give Avon gifts to your customers as a thank you. Well, why? I never sold before. I was going to make sure I was doing the right thing. So I bought the little deodorants and the little purse-sized lotions. And I attached a note to them that said, thank you for buying Avon from me. They were cute. They were printed in color ink. And I don't do that anymore. It's too much work. But put those in the bags. You know what happened? The first 3 people I gave those to looked in the bag and handed me the item back, not even looking at the note, and said, I didn't order this. Well, it kind of defeats the purpose of saying, oh, surprise, I gave you a free Avon item, and they're trying to give it back to me. One woman had her husband bring the item back to my door because I accidentally left it in the bag. Okay, I needed to do something different, and this is one thing that I love. I decided nobody's going to turn chocolate back. So I buy Ghirardelli chocolate. I love Ghirardelli. And I give them a chocolate in their bag. Now, I used to do my own little notes that stapled to it or taped to it and stuff. And now, finally last year, I went online and I just found some thank you notes online that stick. Oh, they're so great. So this is what I do. No one has ever returned this to me. And in fact, my customers now will open their bag because they know it's coming, and they pull it out and they eat it in front of me. What is that about? But they love it, and I get thanked for it all the time. This is cheaper than buying them an Avon product, and they love it. Okay? Now, two other things. Because if you saw this box here, that's just what I keep it in. Again, that's one thing I schedule for. I schedule time to put those little thank yous on all of these, because when I'm filling out the orders, I don't have time to stop and label them, and then they're not going to get a piece of candy. You have to think in advance. I bought these little dudes here. Okay, these are like the little peppermint patties because the big Ghirardelli ones wouldn't fit into my egg. And I wanted, this is what I did for, just because Easter has just passed, I thought I'd share with you something that I did for my customers. So I put a plastic egg. These are so cheap. You bought like 20 of them for $1 at the dollar store, right? Inside was their thank you candy, so they still got the candy. And in addition to that, I put a little note in it. And it said, I would like your help finding new customers. Share the extra book with a neighbor, friend, family member, or colleague. So I put 2 books into their bag. When they order, you both earn 10% off your next order. Thank you, Alice. Now, they eat the candy, I know. Did they take the book and give it to someone else? I can only hope that they did. That was a very easy way. Now, I had to think in advance. I had to buy the eggs. I had to get the candy that would fit in it, and I had to print these out. And I just did them small, okay? But it's a great idea. And I have these for, I did eggs at a business. They let me put a basket with eggs on it. And it said, place your first order of $35 or more, and you will get $5 off your order. Now, we only did that last week. I'm hoping this week I'm going to get some people that want to order. Okay? Again, it's all about what kinds of things can you do, and have fun with it. I had fun filling those eggs. It's all about what can you do to increase your sales. Find more customers. Find people that want to buy Avon and sell Avon. Now, before we finish up, there's a couple things behind me that I want to just point out to you. Remember I said that when you're doing those baskets to give for, when someone's asking you to maybe donate for a raffle, the other thing you can do when you're having a booth somewhere, okay, I used to have $35 of Avon, sign up. I mean, you know, I have sheets in here. I want them to see how full it gets. You can get little ones. This happens to just be a bigger one. I have smaller ones. But basically, it's saying, I am interested in learning more about how to earn money with Avon. I would like to receive a current Avon book. I would like to host an Avon party, or I'm interested in Avon fundraising. And then there's a place for name, phone, email, and address. They have to fill this out completely to be considered for the drawing. And once again, they don't mind filling it out. They're going to get a free $10 worth of Avon. And by the way, I could say I'm giving 3 of these out today. Whatever. But I've never yet had somebody only spend $10 on Avon. Now, for events, it costs money to do an event, to be a vendor at an event. Sometimes it's 25 bucks, sometimes it's 30. I've even done events that are $100, okay? If you're gonna spend $100, you need to make sure that you're gonna get a pretty big turnaround of people that are coming through. You don't only want 100 people walking by your booth, you need a couple thousand people coming by your booth. Here's the thing with events. And when I first started doing them, I told myself, I can't invest in this. This is too much money. What if I don't even sell $100? It's not about what you're selling. It's about finding customers and finding a new rep or two. So just look at it differently. That's what the event is about. It's about getting your name out there, handing out 100 books at that event so that you can get new customers, because those new customers will pay for your event. And yes, you can sell some product that you've got while you're there. Make the best use of it as you can. I sell a lot of product when I'm there because I carry product. I think I could open a store with the product I have. Those of us that love Avon, even though you don't have to buy Avon, we're victims of our Avon. Okay, but I love it. And I have people that come to me year-round to buy Skin So Soft Bug Guard because they're traveling and they need Bug Guard wherever they're going. So I always have that on hand. Now, when you are doing an event, because I do several events every month at my assisted living centers, setting up, taking down can take time. Have everything priced ahead of time. Everything. And have it clearly priced because people are looking at it and touching it and whatever. But just recently, I purchased 2 items that I wish I'd have had all along. Again, I didn't want to spend the money early on, but now that I've been selling for 5 years, I can reinvest and get some good displays. So instead of lining out 15 watches laying there, I now have a display for watches and for earrings that I just love. And now that I have it, I wish I'd have had it a lot sooner. But you know, you reinvest in your business as you can afford to do so. Don't go spend hundreds of dollars to grow your business when you're not bringing in that money first. Okay? So this little turnstile, I don't know if you can see it. Isn't that great? Okay? Glimmer Stick brow liners, lip gloss, eyeliners, miscellaneous. I don't even know what this container is for other than it's perfect for Avon. And it's a turnstile. It looks really nice. I'm going to just turn the computer here so you can kind of see. This is my new watch display. Can you see it, Elizabeth? Okay. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It also, it also locks. So if I'm at an event, I can keep it locked if I can't keep my eye on it. Now, when I'm at my assisted living centers, I don't need it locked. But if you've got a long table or two at an event, you want it locked because somebody could take something from it. But it looks so nice and inviting. I love it. And here is my new earring display. I thought I had so many pairs of earrings till I put them up there, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's only a third full. I have to go buy some more earrings. Okay, we're running out of time, but I want to talk about leaving your book in businesses. I don't always ask permission. Sometimes I just leave them. Often I leave them in the bathrooms. I don't pay. Never do I pay more than $2 for any of my containers, and I often pay less than that. And the reason you don't want to pay more than that is because the containers don't always stay where you put them. They get tossed. I actually had a customer steal one time. Not one of my customers, one of the salon customers. They told me, no, she came in, she said she liked the container, and she took it. Why did they let her take it? I don't know. They didn't know what to say to her. Okay, so this is just one. This is a basket. I paid 25 cents for this basket at a garage sale. I just added a little note that said free Avon books. If somebody takes this, my heart's not broken. But Avon books stand up nicely in it. And by the way, anytime you can have Avon books stand up, erect, people will take those more than if they have to look and find them laying on a table. My favorite thing to use for Avon books is an old recipe card box. They're plastic. All I do is cut them. I take an X-Acto knife and I cut the back off. I don't want the back on it. Okay? Now this is in pretty nice shape. This one's in nice shape. And I just put free Avon books. I also put take one to your mom on the end. Anything that gets a kick out of it, this is again. Okay? And this one is for, I used it when I was leaving books at a local tire center. Okay, a local tire center. It held quite a few books. Okay, you can leave books just about wherever you go. I leave them in bathrooms all the time. But if I want a business that says that's given me permission to leave books there, then I want to use a box, and I put on my calendar when it's time to go refill it. I don't necessarily have to refill it every campaign, but at least once every 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to drop by and put new books in the back because they are going to disappear. And you will get customers. That's the good thing. All right, let me see.
This has been full of so many tips and ideas, and even more, because I know we did our initial interview for the book before, and then we had like a whole other set of things that went in the book, and then now we have like tons of tips today, and this is fun and lots of visuals, so that's great too.
Great. The other thing I wanted to say that I forgot is I encourage my new reps that really want to make some money with Avon to start selling at assisted living centers. Now, they need to pick up the phone and call and talk to the activities coordinator because I can't do their business for them. However, I have new reps that start selling, and their intentions are very good, but they literally do not have the money to buy some products to start selling. So depending on the rep, I have a lending box. It's just one box of items. Everything is priced and the entire thing is inventoried. And I am willing to loan that to my new rep. When they go to an assisted living center, they have my products out there. Now they have their books, but my products. Every product they sell, they are selling for me. But every book they give away and every order they get, it's for them. And so with them being there a time or two, they will start earning enough money that they can slowly start to buy their own products. They don't need my lending box more than a month, but it gets them started because they didn't have any products to begin with. And so I have found that that's the easiest thing for do. It's worth my time to have a lending box there because they're selling my product and because they're going to be increasing their sales. And let's face it, if we have new reps that aren't earning some money the first few campaigns, they're not going to stick with it. So I want them to. So anyone that's interested in doing that, I lend them my box. It's just a nice thing. So I think that's, I mean, I could talk for a long time. I'm looking over my list, and I think I've pretty much covered. Oh, I know, there was one last thing. When you are out recruiting, now one of my favorite places to go around here is to the local commuter train station, okay? The buses come in, the trains come in. It is a very active place. I go for 1 hour at a time, sometimes 30 minutes if that's all I have, and I take books. Now, I can get rid of 30 books in probably 15 minutes, and that's actually talking to people and only giving a book to someone that wants a book. I can pick up new customers there, and I can pick up new reps. So I try to make that kind of a regular thing to go. But here's the thing. Books are heavy. Avon books are heavy. And you take 30 or 50 Avon books, and you're lugging a big bag. But if you take a flyer with you, an Avon flyer, I can take 50 Avon flyers. They weigh maybe 3 pounds altogether, and you're handing it out. And that flyer still has the same label that my books have. If they're interested, they can go onto my website and still look up the entire information. They can see the entire website. The other thing is, if they call me, I'll take them an Avon book, or I'll mail one to them because I do mailings. But so sometimes you may not want to have the big bulk of all those Avon books, but you can take a handful of those flyers and you can leave them in restrooms. If a manager comes in and tosses them, you're not losing so much as if you're losing your books because you've paid for those. The flyers, you get some of those free anyway. Okay, so I hope that my information has been helpful to you. I know I'm starting to run out of time, and I have more than enough stuff to share with you at any given time. So please keep following me because I am learning. I'm learning new things all the time that work, that don't work. Mostly, I just want to say, have fun with what you're doing. Now, I have a sister. Her name is Leanna, and she's just a year older than me. She lives right outside our back door, just off of our kitchen. We built a home there for her 3 years ago. Leanna has multiple sclerosis. She is completely wheelchair bound. This is a devastating, terrible disease to have. But I've learned something from her. She tells me, and she is mostly in a good mood all the time. And she can't even lift her legs on her own. She has full-time aides that help her. If she wants to use the restroom, they have to pick her up and move her. She can't do any of that. When she's in bed until somebody moves her out of bed. But she's always in a good mood. And she said to me one time, she said, Alice, I could have this terrible disease and I could complain about it and legitimately complain about it. And nobody wants to be around me. Or I could have this terrible disease, which I don't have a choice on. But I'm not going to be viewed as a victim. I am going to be pleasant, and I am going to remember the things that I still can do. And I'm going to do them with passion, and I'm going to enjoy it. And then people want to be around me. And if we can take that message over to our network marketing business, we have lots of excuses to not do things. We all do. People don't know our excuses. We all have lives that are busy. We all have terrible stuff happen in our lives, and we're all busy. And we all have what could be legitimate excuses. So, are you going to stick with those excuses and limit yourself with your business? Or are you going to move beyond them, be passionate about your business, and grow your business? Because those other things are going to be there no matter what you choose to do. So embrace it and enjoy yourself. And truly, I enjoy my Avon business. I have made so many friends. I love the products. I'm having a good time, and I would love to have you join my team. Thank you so much. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you so much for your time today, Alice. I really appreciate it. People need to join your blog, pressedonwithalice.com, and we look forward to seeing more from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You take care. Bye-bye.